I just cannot pull as hard as the other guys.
Cannot because you never bothered to train for it.
Yeah lah.
Okay, welcome to the next episode of Pinch of Salt. Today I have with me Hilman. Yeah. So Hilman has been, to say the least, I feel he has been critical in shaping me to be the climber I am today, especially in my growing years. So I'm fortunate to have him with me today to discuss about some things that some of you may be interested in or that we feel that requires conversation. Yeah. So I shall begin by asking you to introduce yourself. How do you start climbing? For those of the people out there who don't know, year, school, whatever. Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I started climbing in 2007. I was in Singapore Poly. I was studying biotechnology. Was. So I actually wanted to join gymnastics
Oh, okay,
rather than
interesting.
rock climbing
Okay.
because I was watching Olympics and they were doing iron cross. So I thought that was like damn cool, like iron cross and flipping all over everywhere. So gymnastics was my first choice, but I didn't know that there's no such thing lah, and you need to start young with gymnastics. And being 17, I wasn't really active in sports other than soccer, like typical Malay dude. Yeah, so I was walking around and then I saw this short wall, which I thought rock climbing should be like a high wall. But yeah, so I just went in and tried climbing it, and I realized that it's so damn difficult. Yeah, like I couldn't reach the top, but rock climbing is about reaching the top. I like it. It intrigues me lah. So during the CCA fair, I just signed up for SPRC. So that's how I started my climbing journey.
Okay.
At 17.
Okay. So then, you mentioned vaguely about like it intrigues you how difficult it is to scale the wall, right? Do you feel like that is the very reason that you joined the sport, and has that been the reason that kept you in the sport? The fact that it's always challenging, or are there other maybe any other reasons that sparks your interest that kept you in for close to 13 years now?
I kind of always like hikes.
Hikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like in school camps, or like primary school or secondary school, and then they bring you outside, and there's rock climbing. I was always the first one to volunteer to climb the wall.
Okay.
And I guess the interest starts from there as well. And I mean, every time I could reach the top, it was like no big deal, But
Talent now.
I guess. But yeah, so and then with that short bouldering wall, which I couldn't reach to the top, I guess like
May you sit down.
maybe it will fit. Like to find a new interest.
So from the very start, it was bouldering, from the very beginning of your climbing life, basically.
Yeah.
So then going into the sport, Who are the people that help you? Who are the people that inspire you? That like mentor you, you know?
I think the three main ones are Hans,
Mm.
Hata.
Mm.
Shit, what's the other one? There was three. Hans, Hans, Hata. My
Gary.
God. Gary.
Gary.
Oh my God, yeah, Gary. yeah. I mean, Gary didn't really say coach or like really teach me about things, but it's just how awesome he looks like on the wall.
He's that strong guy, right?
He's that super strong guy, and he was a national climber back then, and like I want to be that guy. I want to be a national climber too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for Hans and Hata, they really guided me along my climbing years, my first 2-3 years. Yeah. Yeah, they were really helpful. Oh, Hakim was my senior as well.
By how many years?
1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can tell that he didn't really like me at the start.
Okay.
Mainly because I was quite annoying also. Like
Just
this
the
annoying
new kid.
young, yeah.
This like you're just the new kid, right?
Yeah. And I was quite noisy and irritating and whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so this Hans and Hata really helped me a lot with climbing. And yeah.
So then in that case, do you see yourself being in their position now, paying it forward to helping other people like myself when I was growing? Like, was it ever a conscious decision for you to like, oh, okay, I spot this prospect, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna invest time. I'm gonna invest time into you know, like developing. Cause I know that you had a stint with like, Bure. Like you spotted talent, and then you really like stand by it, and then you really invested your own time, your own effort to groom the talent. But I don't know if that's always been the case, you know.
I think Bure was quite recent. I mean, not that recent, but maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had time in my hands. I wasn't a full-time route setter. I was just mainly coaching NUS.
Yep.
Springfield, I think, at that point of time, and route setting here and there.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I had time, and I really like how she climbs and fight really hard on the wall. That's one thing that gets me. It doesn't matter what level you're climbing. It's just how much fight you have in you. Yeah.
Then there can also be an argument of fight dumb or fight smart, right?
Yeah, I guess you can.
Fight is fight lah,
Yeah,
but
fight. No, I think to me it's fight dumb. Whether it's fight dumb or fight smart, you are still fighting. You still want to improve. Maybe the person who is fighting dumb that doesn't have anyone to guide.
But the desire is there,
Yeah,
right?
but the desire is there.
Yeah,
So-
and it's a kind of like a natural progression. Everyone starts from fighting dumb
Yeah.
to like progressively
exactly.
fighting smarter and smarter, lah, right? Yeah.
When we were training with myself and Aaron, we kind of had like a phase where we had a volume phase, and then after that we had a pancake phase. So pancake phase is doing impossible stuff, but we didn't really put much thought about it until it actually works. Like we would just.
Can you elaborate more on what the pancake phase is for those people that haven't heard it before? And like actually, I also honestly I kind of forget you.
Okay, pancake. When you're in a pancake mode, basically, you try the problem. Like first move you fall, second move you fall, third move you fall, fourth move you fall. You keep on falling every single move. Like the route is that hard.
It's a limit, lah.
Yeah,
Or maybe past
And
it.
because you keep on falling like a pancake, it becomes a pancake face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to make the impossible possible lah,
Yes.
basically.
Yes. And then when we realize that works, and then we realize that, oh, that's how you
But
got so strong.
unintentionally lah. It's just
Yeah, I guess.
I never really planned to set impossible rules. But I really just thought that you guys were that strong and you guys would be able to do it. I just had ideas in my mind to like, you know, yeah. But as for pancake training, you guys actually managed to make impossible moves that like make moves that were impossible for you previously become possible. Like do you guys actually manage to like see it through?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we managed to see it through until we got so physically strong that we were scared of what's possible.
Serious?
Yeah, and then shortly after, while I was speaking, I had a shoulder impingement injury, and then it goes downhill from there. I couldn't even do a single pull-up because it hurt so bad.
Because of the training or like for other reasons?
Of course, it's because of the training,
Yep.
and also because I don't stretch.
Stretch
Yeah,
kids.
Yeah, I don't stretch. I don't do like a proper cool down and stuff
It's
like
really
that.
just go to the gym, whack,
Yeah, whack.
go home.
Yeah, just go home like that.
Yep. Yeah, with that being said, will you still identify yourself as much of a competitor nowadays? Because you have found reasonable amount of success, especially locally and considerably like when you compete internationally as well, representing Singapore. So has that like really changed how you view competition? Because in order to achieve that kind of success, you can't really just be all fun. There has to be some like serious work put in, you know. It's almost as if like it's a task. It's like your job is to compete and do well. And you can't just like play and have fun, yeah.
Well, so you know that, almost everyone, okay, not everyone in the climbing community, but most people in the climbing community knows that I don't train.
But it's not as if you never did.
But it's not that. Yeah, it's my form of training is very different from others, where they start farming on like hangboards, pull-up bars, and like TRX and stuff like that. But my form of farming is on the wall itself, and like kind of always trying to find better methods to climb the problem.
Kind of like chasing perfection.
Yeah, like I'm always trying to be more efficient in climbing, because I like to view myself as the weak guy.
You'd like to view yourself as the weak guy. Or,
Yeah, I
or
guess.
like kind of like you take pride in it. I'm so weak, but I'm still better than you.
I mean, there are two kinds of climbers, alright. There's the good one and the strong ones. And like you look at someone, it's like, wow, he's strong, and then you look at another person, and it's like, wow, he's so good. And it's like, yeah, two completely different person, but they may finish the same problem.
Yep. In a completely different fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm the other person lah.
Like you're the good guy.
Yeah, which I don't view myself as the strong guy. Yeah. So,
Because there's elegance in being good as well, right?
yeah, I guess. But I just cannot pull as hard as the other guys.
Cannot because you never bothered to train for it.
Yeah lah. But I put in my time in other ways lah, which is on the wall. Yeah, and it's a conscious effort. It's not just going to the gym and I'm just gonna climb and then finish the problem and that's it. But
I understand.
Yeah, it's a conscious effort to warm up well. I mean, like, let's say you are doing a V0 or something, you don't just pull yourself all
Up
the
the
way up.
V0, yeah. Exactly.
You kind of like try to use the movement that the route setters kind of intended.
It always starts from there, right? It always starts from the easy routes first.
Yeah, of
And
course.
if you can't do it on the easy routes, it will never be a habit for you to practice it on the harder
Yeah,
routes.
it gets harder for you to practice good movements when you don't have that basic foundation.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So you need to do it to your best ability. Like let's say you are projecting V5, for example,
Yeah.
but you should be climbing well from V0 all the way to V4.
That's exactly how I view climbing as well.
And then when you're at V5, you're projecting V5, it kind of like all hell's break loose. You kind of do whatever you can to reach the top.
Yep.
But with so much practice from the V0 to V4, you will kind of still move a little bit better than
Agree.
from not practicing at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And then if you finally finish the problem, you can just repeat it
Yeah.
to like understand the movement better.
Yep. It's all about that, like almost like hyper awareness when you climb. To be very conscious of feeling your body and things like that. And I always talk about this to, I actually don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but the way I see it is when you talk about stats and you talk about being good, right? So stats to me are just like the other stats. And then being good is how well can you convert those stats into actual performance. And this conversion, right, is really like it can really be captured in this term I like to call effective strength. So when you're actually putting into practice, let's just say you want to learn how to pinch better. Learning how to pinch on the wall teaches you how to pinch hard as well as teaches you how to engage different muscles in your body to aid you in doing the pinch move. On the other hand, you can just go to the hangboard and hang on pinches. And the person that goes to the hangboard and hang on pinches will probably be able to pinch harder in terms of load. But he will almost never be able to pinch as well on the wall. Because the person who practices on the wall knows how to put it into one, climb as a unit to perform that specific like task.
Mm-hmm.
So in saying that, I feel that because you're one of the people that in my eyes, like at least, that have really almost maximized what they have. With whatever they have, you're like kind of like constantly outdoing yourself. Do you ever live with the regret that, because it is these kind of climbers, right, that if you pump stats into them, right, they are able to take it that much further, you know? Like do you ever like, if only I train, if only I did.
Do they even know what stats is?
Okay, yeah, stats is like chakra. it's like strength, power, finger strength, you know, like raw statistics.
So yeah, it's basically like put yourself in a
game. Yeah, in a game.
and then you pump strength
Yeah,
and agility and
Yeah.
like, so in climbing terms it's like pinch strength,
Cream strength,
cream strength,
power, pulling power.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you ever live with the regret that you never actually gave yourself the chance to take it that much further?
I did what I can at that point of time, in my growing years. I was farming really hard on the wall. I really find hangboard, TRX, or like lifting weights and stuff like that, it's too boring for me. It's too monotonous. Like climbing is so much more different, and it works for me.
But you will never know if you
never
can
won.
work better.
I've never won a single gold medal in bouldering.
Thumbs up, man. Really, this is freaking amazing.
Open.
Yeah, like of course,
In the open, yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, like ever, like even like Hong Kong Cup is second. like I always be second or third, or not make into finals or just suck at finals. But yeah, I've never been that guy who
like dominates.
Yeah, been first. The thing is, I've never really been upset about my performance in climbing, in the comps. as I said earlier, that I just really enjoy the fun of the competition.
Yep.
And I guess that's why I don't really farm my stats. I don't really push for the fingerboard or the training wise.
Because there's no emphasis on winning, is it?
Yeah.
But I mean, like there's always prone to have feelings of disappointment, things like that. Everyone lives with it, no matter how much they say that they don't care about it. But once in a while, it hits you lah. Like, oh, I just one attempt, just like one attempt to bonus. Like how much amount of work do I have to put in order to just close that gap?
I mean, of course, there's some moments of being salty, like
Yeah.
second because of one move or,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like that by that much.
Yeah.
But it's not a strong enough feeling for me to get my ass to the training, to the hangboard, to TRX, to whatever.
It's just too painful. It's just too much of a dread, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I guess the only time that I trained really hard was for lead, and that was at Safra, where I climbed with 15 kg vest, like up and down, like climb up and then down climb and unclip, and then climb back up.
But again, it's still on the wall, right?
Yeah, but still on the wall.
Yep.
And I guess that's how I got so strong in lead. Yeah, by that kind of farming.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the only time that I put in effort. I think like real effort.
Like in terms of like training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it still holds on strong till today.
Yeah.
Like that strength never really disappeared at all.
Because it's your base lah, right?
Yeah, just my base, and if I'm away from lead for too long, I will get pumped really fast. And what it takes for me to get back is just maybe like two to three sessions of volume training.
Then you're
and
back.
then I'm just back. Yeah. But I'm just back, I'm not any stronger than before.
Like you're not pushing.
Yeah, I'm not pushing my limits.
Yep.
So,
But
yeah, just that.
But no regrets.
Yeah. I mean, lead, I'm always the best. Okay, not always the best. I was second.
Always a challenger lah.
Yeah.
Like you're always in contention to be the best in Singapore lah, right?
Yeah, but
fair enough. I mean, I don't think
I'm not
anyone's
really
going to
scared
deny
about
that.
it lah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as an extension to that, how do you view climbing performance? If you were to summarize what it is to perform well, to be a good climber, an overall good climber, how would you summarize it? If you were to like give advice to your students, what's the essence of it? How do I be good? How do I be strong?
It's really just conscious effort to your climbing. The effort that you put in will show on the wall. Like how much effort you put in, I think it will really translate into your climbing performance. If you're just there dreading to go to the climbing gym, or you're just there to talk to your friends
Just go
and
through
not
the
really
motion.
climb, just going through the motion of going to the gym and climbing the new set, it's not enough lah.
It's far from enough.
Yeah.
And
So if you are that kind of person, you just kind of like want to have fun, it's totally fine. But as long as you are happy with your own performance, but if you want to be a little better than before, you have to put in the conscious effort to your climbing.
And I think a lot of people don't realize the degree to which when we talk about conscious effort, the extent, the intensity of consciousness is quite far off than what a lot of people may think it is. I mean, I find myself thinking a lot. And to be honest, if you ask people generally, do you climb consciously? I think more people will say yes than they actually are. If we go by our definitions of like actually thinking about it, they'll say yeah. I think about my route and I plan my route and things like that.
Yeah.
But to what depth and to what eye for detail do you have for the sport? You know, yeah, super important. I feel. I think more attention has to be brought to this like subject matter. Yeah. So back to the topic on conscious effort. I was saying that most people do not realize the degree of which, the intensity in which, when we mention conscious effort, how far do we go? What are the extents do we go when we talk about conscious climbing? Yeah, then like you're going to elaborate more on that.
Yeah, you kind of have to really think about climbing. Like before climbing, you think about climbing. During climbing, you're being present, and then after climbing, you are thinking about climbing again, like the previous session and the next session, like what you're gonna do, and then before you sleep, it's kind of like borderline obsession.
It's not even borderline.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's obsession.
It's full-blown obsession for myself.
At one point of time, I was that obsessed with climbing. Like you have to be very detailed about your climbing. Like for example, you step on a volume, like a huge surface area where most climbers are just like, oh, just a big volume, okay, just step and go. But where you exactly step on the volume, it makes a whole lot of difference to the move that you are making. Like
for sure.
that tiny adjustment that you make would save you that much energy for the next move. Yeah, so it's even by like a millimeter, it makes a difference.
Yeah, and not only placement. You have to think about angle of approach, angle of like where do you apply the force, when do you apply the force, like things like that. And then like how do you like really harmonize with your body in order to perform the move. And if one thing doesn't click, it really requires so much more physical strength from you to compensate for that one small error that you made. So if you are really driving for perfection, right, I would say it's really worth it, because you really get to save so much for when you actually need it to fight. Yeah. Yeah. Then I was gonna bring up something. Let me think. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can actually really resonate with what you said about thinking about climbing before and after and during. So when I was younger, right, I actually have notebooks. I write down exactly how I'm feeling on the wall after every attempt. On which part of the route I'll draw out the route, I'll put arrows, and then I'll say, oh, on this part of the route I felt like my right hand was unstable, so that I can actually remember going into the next session. Looking back, it's very clear to me. Even if I forget, I have something to fall back on, right? And I always feel like that period of time for me, when I was the most obsessed with climbing, and I think for you as well, was the period that we saw the most growth. And during that period, it really defined us as a climber in terms of like, because of the growth that we made, that formed the base. That really formed the base of climbing, or like the climber that we have become. And it, like you said just now, it never really left, because it's the foundation. I think it's super important as like mentor figures to place a lot of emphasis on how important it is to be obsessed. It sounds a little bit like retarded, but it's super important, I feel.
You have to take pride on what you are doing,
Yep.
right? Like, and who you are as a climber. Like, for myself, I take pride in moving well as a climber, and until now it sticks with me that Like for example, I think Marcus takes pride in being really strong, and it follows him throughout his climbing years. And he still is ridiculously strong right now. But
It is what defines him.
what?
It is what defines him.
Yeah, it's what defined him, but it's just not enough to be strong anymore right now. It is
It's also not enough to
new
just be good.
climbing style.
Yeah. It's also not enough to just be good, right?
Yeah.
You have to be a certain degree of both in order to find at least consistent success.
Yeah.
Yeah.